How are we looking? Oh, we're live.
Hey.
Hey,
Yeah, it should be going live for mine as well. Yo, if you guys are just joining us, happy Friday, wherever you are.
Man.
Right? It's
Heck
been
yeah.
been a dope
we
week.
made
It's been
it.
a really good week. First Lumia live. First Lumia live ever. So if you guys don't know, now you know.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's do
Lots
it.
to talk about today. The boys went to DC, and have some really big updates from that as well. If you have any questions throughout this whole thing, just pop into the chat. Drop any questions you have. Drop any comments you have, and we'll make sure we address some of them. Before we kick off, I want to give a chance to introduce the entire Lumia team. We're joined by Cal and Dennis. Cal at the head, CEO, big boss, and we got Dennis, CTO, the brains behind the operation.
Indeed.
And yo, what's good, Ransom? What's good, Halil?
Dang,
What up?
Just gonna forget about
Oh,
me.
and then sorry.
Don't forget.
Yeah.
You gonna
Damn.
forget about your boy. Hey,
Yeah.
look at the bottom of this banner. It says culture.
It says culture.
Yes.
Sorry.
It says culture, and that's why I'm here. Hey, everybody. My
Yes.
name is Mark Culture. Thank you. I have to intro myself. Thank you. My name is Mark Culture, and I joined the Lumia team about 7 months ago, just to head culture. But I will get more into my story a bit later. But go ahead.
Yo. Yeah, sorry about that. I forgot to mention Chief Culture Officer Mark Culture, but he's here live in the flesh. But yeah, GM everybody, what's up, everybody in the chat? What's good, Boone? What's good, Ransom? What's good, Lena? G Mamba, what up? What up? What's going on,
Hey.
everybody? Before we dive in, I know it's a lot of you guys' first time seeing Cal, seeing Dennis, potentially seeing Mark. You might have some questions on Lumia. We'll get into that in a second. But first, I think it would be important to kind of figure out everybody's origin story. Cal, I know you've been in crypto. We were talking very briefly off camera of you've been in crypto since 2017, and I think it's
Yes.
almost everyone's dream to like one day become a founder, one day build something huge, right? So just to kind of start this off, like I would want to learn myself because I actually don't know, so we're finding out in real time a little bit of like your origin story. How did you get into crypto? What were you doing before? I feel like everybody has their own origin story that's like a slippery slope, and then it just happens, and then like next thing you know, it's 7 years, 8 years later.
That's
Basically,
exactly
what
how it
he's
is.
asking for our comic book fans and people that are into anime, what's your Batman story? What's your Goku story like? Give it to us raw.
Wow. Give it. All right, let's do it. All right. Well, guys, first and foremost, pleasure to be here. One of the main reasons why we want to do this show is to connect with the community and make sure people can see that we're real people, see that we have personality. Like we genuinely are trying to build something massive here. And although it's a lot of regulatory stuff now, it's a different game, right? It's a lot of regulatory, a lot of government stuff. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, but we still want to be a bit more front facing and be sure that we connect with the community. So with that said, my origin story, Alec, how far back do you want me to go here? I mean, like, do you guys like,
as far as you want to go, man, because I've never heard this. I don't know.
let's do it. Let's do
But
it.
it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just
All
you
right.
never heard it. I think the community and all of Web3, in especially our community, Lumia's community, has been wanting to get to know Cal. We know Dennis a little
Let's
bit.
do
We've
it.
heard him speak, but now this is our moment to connect with Cal here. So love to as far as you want to go back, as Alex said, as far as you want to go.
And then real quick, anybody in the chat, everybody that's active in the chat, we are doing a $100 Lumia giveaway, but you got to stay the whole time. If you're not active, you got to be active in the chat too. We're not.
I'm watching.
No lurkers.
Lurkers.
Y'all ain't getting nothing if you lurking. You got to be active in the chat, asking questions. So sorry.
No doubt. I appreciate that. So my origin, quick background, came from immigrant parents, came here to the States on the East Coast for a better life. Really, I hate to do the sob story shit, but this is all actually true. And Dennis is smiling because he knows my story. He knows my family quite well. But yeah, so got into I'll fast forward a bit, so just so we can skip the formalities. But got into crypto back in 2017. At the time, I was in business school. I was going to school for finance. Set out to go on the Wall Street route and go off on that journey. And it was 2017. I had not much left to graduate, and started to see that this space was massive, right? And just so we can explain here how it came about, right? I actually found out about crypto by just surfing on Reddit. I was searching finance subreddits just to learn. I'm one of those people that I feed off the energy of knowledge. Like when I know something, for me, it's empowering. I feel like I belong in that room, right? So I was just reading as much as I could, and then I stumbled upon this article that said fiat versus crypto, and I was like, fiat, crypto, and what is this? And like, of course, I've heard of Bitcoin before that, right? Of course, we all heard of it, but we all just hear about this magic internet money. We have no idea what it really was at the time. So we're like, okay, this is interesting. It's like it was like what is this? What is this? Right? Yeah, like, what is this? So I got into ICO investing. Let me backtrack, right? I had a scholarship check from school with $3K overflow. So basically I could use that towards books, whatever I need towards my semester. And I was holding on to this money. I was saving it. And I said to myself, well, let me just look into this crypto thing and see what it's about. And I took, just like anyone else that gets involved in this industry, I took my stab at day trading, right? I was like, well, I could do this. Like if this guy can do it, why can't I do it, right? Why can't I make money trading, right? So my 3K, I was like, all right, let's put it on Bittrex, right? That's how old I am, Bittrex. Let's put it on Bittrex and let me see what I could do, right? And within about 6 hours, that 3K was down to about 2,100. So nonetheless, I'm like, yeah, this is not for me. Like, this is not for me. So then I as I was reading on the ICO investing, I was like, well, this may be more my speed. Let me see what I could do here. So I started to get involved in the investing side of things. I was really, really my time in my day back then was like 90% school and like 10% like whatever life was, right? It switched. I was like 90% all in on crypto, just reading about it, obsessed with it. I mean, it got to the point where, and just a bit of wonderful story is that my little brother, Yanush, is also co-founder of Lumia and working closely with me day in and day out. And we were only 3 years apart, right? He's 3 years younger than me. So we grew up as best friends, right? So I started to push the crypto thing onto him, and I was like, dude, you got to read about this. This is super cool. This is super cool. You're Unk in crypto when you trade on Bittrex. I am Unk. I am Unk. I'm Unk. Like my nephew calls me Unk. Yes. I am.
You're Unk in crypto when you trade.
I'll own it every day. No doubt. I'm just gonna change my name to Crypto Unk. Does that sound better? Crypto Unk?
Yeah, Crypto Unk.
The name, the name was born today. I appreciate you, Kaku. Yeah. So, I was talking to Nush about this space, talking to Nush about ICOs, talking to Nush about crypto in general, and we both became so obsessed. We were actually taking shifts in the day where I would wake up the entire night shift, be reading, looking out for any ICOs that were dropping contract addresses, and then Nush was waking up early in the morning and taking over my shift during the day. So like we were doing this constantly. It was a cycle, and it became an obsession. Like we just got involved in it so much. And then the hard part came was when I had to just explain to my parents, like, hey, listen, like, look, I know we don't. I know it's difficult to explain this internet money, right? But I've been getting involved into ICOs, getting involved into investing. Things are going quite well, and like, look, like I want to change my career trajectory and go more into the crypto side of things and less on the Wall Street TradFi side. Coming from a traditional like Trinidadian background, like Caribbean parents, like they were like ready to whoop my ass, right? They're like, "Are you kidding me? You went to school for this long to play with magic internet money? Like, what is this shit?" You know? So, nonetheless, the conversation didn't go well.
Crypto's a scam.
Yeah. Exactly.
Look,
Yeah.
ransom.
Same. So, you know, what I did was I said to them, look, let me show you my trading account. Okay. My investing account. Not trading clearly because I'm not a good trader, but my investing account. So the 3K that went down to 2,100 ended up at about 103K within 1 month. And I showed my mom. I'm like, mom, like this is real money, you know, like it's there. And she said, okay, well maybe you can see how deep the rabbit hole can go, right? So
now mom's
yes,
was on board.
yes,
Okay.
yes. And that was the start of the journey, you know. And then you know, constantly investing into ICOs. Yeah. I was just like, listen, like it's working, you know, we're good at it. And you know, Nush has his degree as well, but like he was in a spot where he was like, you know what, like I'm gonna take this regular job and you know go this route. It's safer money. My mom has a very big influence on my brother because he's the little one, you know, he's the baby of the family. So my mom obviously has a big influence on him. She wanted him to go a safer route, quote unquote. So he was going to start a regular job. As he was walking out the door, I looked at him. I said, "Dude, what are you doing? what are you doing, man? Like, what, like, dude, like this industry is so nascent. It's just starting. It's still early, man. Like, what are you doing?
It's just getting started.
It's just getting started. It's just getting started." So, you know, he looked at me, man. He looked back at me. He looked at the door. He looked at me again. He said, "Fuck it. Let's go, brother. Let's ride." And that was it. That was it. Like, we literally became not just brothers, but business partners that day. And, things have not changed since then. You know, it's like every single business I do, my brother's involved in it. He's my best friend, confidant, the angel on my shoulder. You know, like he's just a wonderful human being. Mark, you know that? Yeah.
No, I know Yanush is he's more quiet, but don't let that fool you. If you guys ever get to hear from him, don't let that fool you. He may come off quiet, but Yanush is actually live for the company right now.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah. He's doing a lot. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, especially in UAE. In fact, Nush actually relocated to UAE because of business, because there's so many meetings over there, because there's a lot going on over there, which we will make public very soon. But So back to the story. Got involved into investing, and then the story gets even better. I mean, I guys, I couldn't have written this shit. This is crazy. Okay. So one of my best investments, right, was a company called Bounty 0x. Again, crypto unk here. Okay, this is old school. This is old school. Bounty 0x.
Crypto unk for real, because I don't know what that is.
So Bounty 0x was one of the best performing projects of 2017. Right, it was one of the hottest projects to get into. Micro cap, I think a $1.4 million raise. Something very, very low, right? Very low. And this project was absolutely bonkers. I mean, it went incredible. And I actually I did everything I could to get into this ICO. And funny story, right? I had these wallet addresses that were whitelisted for the ICO. And something happened where I think I lost a private key or something happened. And the CTO of the company, I reached out to him directly and I was like, "Hey, dude, like, I hate to bother you." And I'm coming in like full pleb status, all right? Because like I'm like full on pleb, like just like new to the game, didn't know, like, you know, just coming in, you know. I'm like, "Hey, man, sorry, sir, I hate to bother you, but you know, I have this issue with my wallet, and you know, like I'm whitelisted for the sale, etc." And this guy replied to me in the most dry, sarcastic way possible. And but nonetheless, he did help me. Right? He did help me. And I got into the sale, did extremely well on the investment. And I'm one of those guys that like I like to show my hustle, man. Like I like to show my value, you know. So I try to help this company, help them with like listings, help them with BD. and just show my value. And they offered me a job, and it was my first job in crypto as director of partnership for Bounty Zero X, which was a major company at the time, like I said. And the beautiful part of the story is that the CTO, the dry, sarcastic CTO, is none other than Dennis here on this call.
Wait,
The origin story.
Wait,
The origin story.
Yes.
So
Dude, I'm telling you. Yeah, you couldn't. Look, I couldn't write this shit, man. So Dennis gave me my first job in
I want to
crypto.
hear Dennis's side of the story too.
Yeah.
We can't just listen to you talk about my boy
Yeah.
Dry.
Yeah. He's gonna say. He's gonna say
hung out
more.
with Dennis. I hung out with Dennis for a whole week.
That's true.
My perspective, Dennis isn't dry at all.
No. In person Dennis and keyboard Dennis are two different things, you know.
Bipolar.
Keyboard Dennis, Keyboard Dennis hits like, you know, that dry, sarcastic punctuation after every sentence. He's like a pop. You know, it just boils your blood. You're like, what? Oh God, I can't stand it. Yeah. Then you meet him in real life, and we're like fucking best friends every time we meet. It's just anyway. We'll get into that, but Dennis gave me my first job in crypto. That was 2017. 2018 plot twist. You know. So 2018 came around, bear market came full swing. My first bear market, didn't know what to do. I was like, shit, do I need to go back and go back the Wall Street route? I don't really know, you know. But I was like, but I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm double down, man. I'm gonna keep pushing. So I got involved in some advisories, and I stumbled upon a company called Orion Protocol, and the CEO, his name is Alexei Koloskov. We met. I started as an advisor. I met Alexei. We discussed the space a bit. We discussed what's that?
I remember you talking about Alexei.
Yeah. So we discussed the space and discussed different pain points, and we talked about liquidity fragmentation being an issue in 2018. So we came up with the liquidity fragmentation aspect of Orion. Like I said, I joined as an advisor, but my hustle, man. So I kept pushing. He ended up bringing me on as COO and co-founder of the project. Then, of course, I brought my day one with me right away. I called Nush. I said, dude, let's go. Let's do this, right?
Shout out, big Nush.
Yeah, exactly. So got Nush on board. And we pushed with Orion, right? We raised money in 2018 to 2020. It was like deep bear market, very difficult. We celebrated like 20K checks, 10K checks came in. We were celebrating like it's a grind, you know. And we ended up going to market in 2020. Some would say like we were one of the big players of DeFi summer. We were the second best performing project of the year, 297x for our investors. Things went incredibly well. Got listed on Binance, Coinbase, all the top ones. Yeah, it was really, dude. It's on. Yeah, it was like a dream come true, man. And like, you know, you started the conversation saying like, you know, anyone could do this. It's the truth though. Anyone could do this. Like anybody out here watching that has like aspirations to build. I mean, shit, even hit us up. Like if you have aspirations to build projects, hit us up. We love to support good founders. We love to support people, right? Like even if we can't support you, like, yeah, for sure. Like, dude, you like those that know me know that like I'm at a point in my life where like I obviously like everyone else, you enjoy making money, right? But I am at a point where I get more gratification and joy out of seeing someone, like helping someone to get them to a place where they can go and take care of their family. They can go and take care of their parents. They can go and help, you know, with bills and be able to take their parents on that trip, buy their mom that bag she wanted. Like this to me is like my gratification, right? So again, builders out there, please contact us. We love to help in any way we can. But back to the story. So Orion, we did what we did. It was an amazing journey. But of course, the bear market hit again. And we were in a position where we were like, okay, look, Orion is where it's at and the bear market is here. And either we pivot and change our direction, or I was fearful that we would become one of those projects that just fizzled out, did really well in the bull market and fizzled out in the bear market. So with that said, we started to think about, forward thinking, like, well, what is the next big thing? And we couldn't find anything bigger than RWAs. We feel like bringing the real world on chain is the next inevitable step of this space, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we started to think about what is our secret sauce of Orion, and our secret sauce was our liquidity aggregation software that we have built, right? So we thought, well, look, if we can connect different centralized exchanges and different decentralized exchanges together into one aggregated source to provide deeper liquidity for digital assets, then why couldn't we do this for RWAs too, right? Because RWAs, everyone out there, every RWA project out there is focusing on step one, which is like the actual tokenization of the asset. And because there's so many like regulatory like hurdles and red tape and governmental guidelines and whatnot that you have to follow, it's a difficult task to complete step one. We are all working on step one. Us and all of the other RWA projects out there are all working on step one. What we do at Lumia that's unique is what's our liquidity aggregation software called Lumia Stream, which we look at it like the step two after tokenizing the asset. Like when you tokenize this piece of art, who's accessing it, who's trading it, how is it being used, like what happens after you tokenize this. Every single RWA project out there is going to have the same problem. When they tokenize this, they're going to run into the problem of, okay, well, how do I get people to use it? How do I get people to buy it, to trade it, so that's what the beautiful part about us is, that like we have this liquidity aggregation technology at our core, and it really brings a unique piece of the puzzle that no one else is working on, So when we started to discuss Lumia as it was, right, Lumia being this liquidity aggregation technology that's bringing liquidity to not just digital assets, but also to RWAs, we were like, okay, well, why don't we build this layer two, this chain that encompasses this technology and is configured for RWAs. So when I started thinking about this big tech and this big journey ahead and what needs to be done, I immediately said, well, I need to get the absolute best tech person on the planet. So who did I call? Ayo Dennis. right away. And I exactly. And I just told him the vision. I was like, listen, dude, like we're gonna do something big. This is our opportunity together. Let's do it. And that's it.
Chat wants to hear from Dennis. You got the chat asking.
Yeah.
I think chat wants to hear from Dennis.
A good segue would be right when my guy Cal met Dennis as the you were CTO of the other company at the time, right?
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good time to segue and then to get into your story and then come into Lumia as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Chat wants to hear from Dennis. They're asking. They're like, "Yo, why is Dennis
Dennis so quiet?"
They want to hear Dennis' story.
I'm usually not this quiet. It's just the stream thing.
There you go.
He's not lying either. He's really not lying.
So
yeah, I mean, So we met with Cal. I think it was 2017 when we met on Bounty's Direct. So I was the CTO and co-founder at the time as well. I obviously exited my shares and sold my shares out of that company, and the CEO took over. But I was actually new to crypto myself during that time. So going back, like Cal, I'm also from an immigrant background. I came over to the UK when I was 10, I think, or 11. And I did not really speak a word of English. So I got bullied for a couple of years until I got used to the whole, environment. But it's good, it toughened me up a bit. And then I got to know good people at a young age, which I still keep in touch with. And then I went on to do my undergraduate, then my master's in software engineering and computer science in London. And then I went on to the typical route, once you graduate schemes, low paying jobs, get anything you can go in just to build your experience, whatever it is that you have to do. So I did a bunch of those jobs that I actually hated. Like every day of my life, I used to wake up at 7 a.m. and just be like, fuck this. But, it's part of the journey. So I did that job up and down the UK. I went up north for consultancy jobs. I went down to south, and then remained in London, working on things like Metropolitan Police, the body camera systems, the postage service for the UK, the barcode systems, all that stuff. Then I joined Thomson Reuters around 2015 or 2016, the financial data company. And at the time, blockchains were becoming a thing. Everybody wanted to kind of touch on it and see what it's about, but nobody really knew what to do with it or how to use it. So Hyperledger was a big thing back then, the private blockchain built by IBM, which was then sort of acquired by other companies. And then I think JP Morgan did like an iteration over it and then sold it to Consensus eventually, which is now today known as Quorum. So it's a private blockchain. So
I did not know that. Yeah,
it's basically Ethereum with the ability to control who can run nodes and with the ability to hide and share some of the data. So not everything is public, because when you're doing private blockchains, you don't want everything to be public, right? You want to hide your strategy, you want to hide your trades. So that chain could do that, but it had its shortcomings, which is why it didn't really catch on. So as part of that project at Thomson Reuters, we did a pilot program where banks would join as nodes and then effectively communicate mortgage payment flows, cash flows amongst them, so they know where they sit at any given moment. So while I was doing that, I came across Ethereum, which at the time it was about $15. I think it was going for $15, $20. And
that's crazy.
It's crazy prices now thinking about it. So I immediately quit. Like a month after I started playing with Hyperledger. I didn't even know what to do, but I just wanted to get out and go into Web3. So I quit. I started doing a few random jobs, smart contract, getting to know Solidity a bit. Then this whole opportunity with Bounty Direct came up, so I started that company, did well, eventually exited that company, and then met Cal, and here we are today. I built a couple of platforms and protocols in between then, and now I'm just sort of leading, Lumia L2 side of things, the chain side of things. But the origin story for both of us is quite similar, and the fact that we both met, and then now we're working together, it's a full circle. We're both from, I would say, pretty broke backgrounds. Eventually. So I'm from small towns, small cities. And now here we are trying to build the next generation of finance. So it just goes to show, if you actually like doing something and you find an opportunity, it really doesn't matter. Just connect to the internet and do your thing. And if it's a good product and there's a product market fit for it, you will find your way eventually. So that's a bit of a background. I don't know if we want to move on to like where Lumia is going, what we're doing with it, and then maybe DC side.
Awesome. No, see, this is what I love about hearing both of these quote unquote origin stories, right? Because I think every single cycle brings its own asymmetric opportunity, right? 2017, as Kyle was saying, right, there was the ICO meta. So if you were coming in a little bit more on the Degen side, let's just call it that, the Degen side, then obviously there's crazy opportunities. Millionaires were minted, like out of nothing. And you just had to, one, have the balls, honestly, to just go in and take those opportunities, right? 2021, you saw the same thing with NFTs and other, DeFi, right? NFTs, NFTs, right? That's when we first got in.
Literally, we started in
2024, 2023, or 2024, you saw that with the Solana meme coins, right? You saw that on the trenches, straight trenches. Literally, people made tens of millions of dollars from the trenches. So every single cycle kind of has its own opportunity. And I think it's really dependent on the environment at that time. And like, you usually don't know that it like, hey, this is going to be very short term or short lived until afterwards. You're like, holy crap, that was insane. But then at the same time, let's say the suit side, you also have a little bit more opportunities available for people that I don't want to say smarter, because everybody has, it's almost a different angle, right? From the technology angle, from like the business angle. And, it's basically, we kind of heard both examples of both sides of like someone being able to come in from like, hey, I don't want to I don't want to go the traditional employment route, and I want to try to build something that I actually care about. Whereas you see it from the Degen side of like, this is the like the story of you telling your brother, like, bro, why are you going to work?
I was like, dude, work.
Yeah, tap in, bro. Like, let's click some freaking buttons.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
So you kind of get both sides of it, and every single cycle has its own opportunities. As both of you guys highlighted and alluded to, RWAs is that right now. It's not a dominant narrative. 2024 was Solana, trenches, this, right? But like, I personally believe we're heading towards a different, a more mature market, right?
I think so too.
DeFi, RWAs, prediction markets. That I think is going to be real retail. You know, everyone's like, oh, the trenches, the soul trenches brought in retail. No, bro, it was just all of us stealing each other's money.
100%. Oh God, that's the best way to say it, which is terrible. It's so
Grandma's
terrible.
not buying your pump fund tickers, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Grandma is not buying your pump fund tickers. She might, she might allocate a little bit of her 401k to RWAs. Honestly, honestly, in the next few years.
100%. I agree. So, dude, I agree. No, I agree with you entirely. And the way you described it was spot on. Is like early on there was like, but you can see it though as it's getting like less and less degen and more like mature, just like you said, right? And one of the things that we're doing that's like really difficult, but I think unique at what we're doing with Lumia is that we're trying to so Lumia as an RWA project is very, very like regulatory, very government, very difficult to connect with culture and to connect with the community and to connect with folks outside, right? And that's one of the main reasons why we brought Mark onto the team. Shout out to Mark, crushing it in the culture.
Shout out to
Mark. Telling me my grandma not buying Mark on culture. So what we're doing with Lumia is unique. Is we're trying to hit many different verticals, so to say, right? We have this Lumia vertical set up where we're looking at ways to connect with culture and not just be a boring RWA project. We don't want to be intimidating and be boring and be like impossible to connect with the community. I'll give you an example of a company that's quite boring but connected with community quite well by using IP, right? So again, crypto unk in the house, right? Because I'm old. But MetLife insurance, life insurance, right? So MetLife insurance is that's a very like typically boring and very difficult industry to connect with culture and community. But they went and they use IP, they use Snoopy and Peanuts, right? And they use that character Snoopy to connect with people, connect with the audience, and make it fun and entertaining and make it relatable, right? And I think that they succeeded quite well with that. And one of the main drivers behind us trying to connect Lumia to community and culture is absolutely MetLife. So Mark and Alec, back to what you guys were saying, the space is moving. The space is absolutely moving into this more mature regulatory side. But at the same time, I think that this is going to be where we actually get real adoption of this technology. Like as much as we're early still, I do feel like, okay, let's be honest, right? There are going to be these shit coins that are going to pop up here and there and they're going to die out. That's fine, right? It is what it is. It's life. But what's going to happen is I think that there are going to be a handful of projects and companies that start off as these crypto projects and they become the next Goldman Sachs or Morgan Stanleys. And, like these big banks and big enterprises, like we're there. We're at the cusp of, in my opinion, we're at the cusp of this point in the space where big enterprises, big organizations are being birthed and being formed as we speak. And we truly, in our hearts, feel like Lumia is going to be one of those companies. They're going to be here for quite some time.
Speaking on that, I know you have like a pretty short time frame, and we can keep going.
Yeah.
I forgot. I want to hit this really quick before you do have to go.
Yes.
Mark was just telling me you guys were in DC. There was some big business being happening in DC. I want to know personally, and I'm sure a bunch of people watching want to know the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, the how. Like, what is the goal of going there? Obviously, you're meeting with different politicians, legislators. I'm sure shaking a lot of different hands. In the chat, Ransom, DC, Washington, DC, the capital of the United States, capital of the free world. So just want to hear a lot more about that from either one of your sides. Obviously, Mark, you were there as well too. So you know, just like, what was the purpose of that trip? What were you guys getting out of that? Who were you meeting with? Why? There's a bunch of questions I have about it.
So I'll just quickly drop something in before I head out. But I just wanted to say that for the DC trip, the way we're seeing this is like, again, we're in this spot where things are getting more mature, governments are getting involved. It's a real thing. Yeah. Shout out to this administration too for adopting this technology. I mean, I couldn't be more proud to be an American. Honestly, it's absolutely wonderful to see this country adopt and welcome this technology so well. So with that said, I mean, we have like actual senators, congressmen, people that are reaching out to us and asking us for our advice, right? So like, yeah, look at these guys over here looking like studs, man. Look at these guys. Yeah, look at these chads over here, bro. Man. Look at these chads. And like,
hey, look, this is how you know I love being here. I do not wear suits.
I feel that.
Cal got me in the suit.
You guys look wonderful, man. And like, guys, like, listen, without us giving away anything that I know my team will kill me for, we have massive things happening at Lumia. Like, we've grown up 10x in the past few months even, and none of it has been made public yet, and we cannot wait to share with you guys. And DC, Singapore, UAE, I mean, we're even looking into the continent of Africa. We're looking at Asia as well, of course. But US is a big focus for us, especially us being a US RWA project. We're doing a lot of stuff with some government folks. But it was a massive opportunity. Mark with the alley-oop there and the layup to get us into DC. But it was just a wonderful opportunity. And I do have to jump off the live stream, but I do want to say quickly, absolute pleasure to be here. This is wonderful. Connecting with you guys on this level is like new to me at least, and it's great because you get to see like our personalities and who we are, you know. And like a lot of times I feel like people get the wrong idea of us or a different idea than who we are, and it's really cool to be able to connect and speak with you guys and appreciate both Mark and Faded for having me on the show. Dennis, of course, for being here as well. Yeah.
Before you run, I just want to piggyback on that. I've been in crypto since 2020, 2021. Actually came in together with him, which is crazy. That's how we met.
Yeah,
we just
4 years ago.
Yeah, so
no way. Nice.
Saying that, I've done a lot. I've played professional football. I've been a part of a lot of different organizations. But the one thing that I like about Lumia is just the team culture, and it starts at the top. And one thing that I can say about Cal and I wanted to say this before you leave, is that he really does care about the people around him in the community. I have heard from multiple people that he's introduced me to within his circle say the same things about him. It's just how much he helped them out and has gotten them, to where they're at. And I that speaks volumes in my book, and it definitely motivates me and gets me excited to help this company continue to grow when you have somebody at the helm that actually cares about you.
Man,
wow!
Thank you so much. Listen, I'm just honored to be along on this ride and see you guys grow, see the team flourish, man. I mean, every single person on this team, like, absolute top. Couldn't be more proud of this team. I'm nothing without this team, and I appreciate you all.
So,
hey,
Dennis, I don't know if you have to run as well.
I'm okay. I mean, I have time unless you guys want me to leave.
No. Whoa. Hey, no, Dennis, you got to talk about DC. What do you need?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm around. I have time.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys.
There you go. Oh, wow. There you go.
Right. All right. So I'll kind of like
Boys are back
kick
in.
it off, and Cal kind of hinted at it, but when I joined the team, and Cal and leadership were letting me know like the vision and where we wanted to go and what we wanted to do. One of the things was this theme of the American market and aligning with American entities and being an American-made company. And so thinking through that, I was like, man, like I have this mentor. I have this mentor. He's actually in this picture. The guy in the blue suit.
Who's this?
The
David McIntosh.
David McIntosh.
Okay.
So he's one of my close friends and mentors. And I was like, man, I know David's like doing some really big stuff with Club for Growth on Capitol Hill. Maybe this could be a good just a good person for the company to connect with, because I've had a lot of private conversations with David, and just to give you context to our relationship, he's been trying to get me into politics, just motivating me to kind of get into actually making a difference in my home state, which is Florida. And that relationship has grown over this past year. I've known him for over a year now. And since I knew so much about what he was doing and what he's interested in, David has a very big interest in crypto, and he's always trying to learn more and more. And I knew RWAs to him would be a new thing. I decided to make the connection, and that's where that started. And this is where it ended. It landed us was in Washington, D.C., in some pretty important conversations that if you had asked me 3 years ago, would I ever be in Washington, D.C., talking to the people who are writing the legislation or the policies for crypto here in America, I would have told you no. But here we are,
Mark for president. Hey,
hey, look. Hey, look. You heard it here first. Are
you announcing your campaign? Are you announcing the campaign today?
I'll just say in 10 years, make sure you pay attention to the state of Florida.
Oh,
I want to segue this over to Dennis, because as somebody that's coming from out of the country, Dennis is residing in the UK right now. I would love to get his take on his experience of just like America and then being in Capitol Hill.
Yeah, I mean, let's say it was interesting, right? Everything about it was interesting. It was a weird experience. I've been in the political circles in both UK and Turkey, and that's where I'm originally from. So I have a Turkish background. That's why we did some business there as well, which we'll continue to do. But the US has been very different, considering such a short span of time on how things changed, how they view crypto, from referring to as rat poison to creating draft bills and regulation to clarify everything. It was very interesting to speak to these people, and it wasn't sort of the Republicans or the Democrats. They were both equally interested in cryptocurrencies and Web3s, so which is nice to see. I mean, because innovation has been pushed out of the biggest economic market in the world. So to see things coming back home, well, quote unquote, back home for you guys, home would be different for me. It's pretty refreshing, because I mean, there's a lot of money in the US, right? And there's a lot of demand for business and innovation, and that's why you see a lot of startups come out of the US, because you guys have this culture of entrepreneurship and creating things and pushing the boundaries. Whereas in other places, let's say Europe, mainly, it's a lot of bureaucracy, so it pushes people out. And to see that change, it's been good. I mean, we had really interesting conversations. We tried to give feedback to draft bills that are coming up, which the public will see as well eventually. They were shared with us. We gave feedback on that, both on how the SEC will view securities and then how it could possibly be applicable to CFTC as well. So those conversations were very fruitful. They took some of the notes that we gave, and hopefully we're going to be invited for more roundtable discussions based on the conversations that we've had, which is, I mean, it's amazing, not just because the fact that we're taking part, the fact that the government is actually listening to people from the industry. It's not that they just listen to us, right? I mean, a lot of people go to the Capitol, like Brian from Coinbase was there last week, Charles was there from ADA, Cardano last week. So clearly they're absorbing this feedback and they're trying to do things right. And they've taken lessons from other jurisdictions like Europe's MiCA, Singapore's MAS, and so it was good to see that, and the conversations were really fruitful. So we not only provided feedback, but we also pitched our technology, what we could do, and what, in terms of concrete implementation, what we could achieve with different states. So let's say Representative Warren from Ohio State, we had spoken to people from Indiana and Utah, etc. And we tried to give them different sort of ways how they can try out the technology, how they could try out blockchain in general. So like maybe spin up a sovereign chain on Lumia and call it, I don't know, Ohio chain, and do things on there as a sandbox, see how it works out. And this was the kind of thing that we went with, and it was very well received. So you will hear more of this stuff soon as well.
Yeah, I think you brought up an excellent point, and I've been telling this to a lot of people privately as well too. It's in crypto, right? Especially over the last 8 years in the US specifically, I think even globally to some degree, we went from a political standpoint of like super anti versus pro, pro, right? Like you had certain political parties that were like totally, for crypto, then like the complete antithesis of that too. I think exactly how you just said it, we're past that stage. It's for my way and then for your way, right? It's like everybody agrees crypto is unavoidable. I just saw Y Combinator said this week that the future of finance is crypto. Y Combinator. Nobody would have thought that 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So it's like,
and you see these technological developments as well, like the whole X402 HTTP codes, the AI agents, the AI agent-to-agent protocol level, communications. And when you see where the world is going, which is effectively hands-off management of assets through AI mechanisms, AI agents managing your money, etc., bringing the best wealth returns or yield returns if possible in the market, it's a no-brainer. It has to converge at some point, and you can't really let an AI agent go wild in the current traditional financial systems because of the restrictions that the systems have and the lack of transparency, lack of connectivity that it has. But if you bring things on chain and you upgrade it, then set AI agents free on top of it, it just makes logical sense for everything to mature up and eventually converge into this automated hedge fund or asset management kind of setup.
The biggest thesis for me with AI agents earlier in the year, I went all in on the AI meta. Like I was really, really on top of a lot of it, interviewing founders and all this stuff. I heard someone say this and it like immediately stuck with me. And it said, they were basically saying AI can't trade fiat. So what is their default currency? Right? You can't have an AI say, hey, here's $100. Here, give me that service. They literally can't do that. So the only thing that they would be able to trade and exchange if you were to have an AI agent comes all the way back to crypto. That's why I think crypto and AI is like this perfect relationship that like it's unavoidable. Like what's good? We had some questions in the chat. If you don't mind,
let's go through it. I see a few as well. Yeah.
If you guys, and then also as we're going through the questions in the chat, feel free to drop more. Remember, we are doing a $100 Lumia giveaway at the end of the stream. So
I've been watching.
Mark's been watching. He's been taking notes. He's been taking notes. He's been taking pictures. So, if you guys are active in the chat, he's going to be taking note of that. All right. So we did have some questions I wanted to go over. My question is about Turk. No? Can't talk about that? No?
No.
No, I was talking about this one.
Oh, yeah.
My question is about your meeting with I can't say that Ertan.
Ertan.
Ertan in Istanbul. What do you think of Turkey? I'm telling everyone about this project, and that was from Valarmo. Shout out Valarmo if you're still in the chat. Shout out to you. But I guess people wanted to know a little bit more about developments in Turkey.
Sure. So Turkey is one of the markets. Well, it's one of the biggest markets in cryptocurrencies in general. Like if you look at the amount of volume traded, number of people who own digital assets, Turkey is probably like top 3. There's no denying that. And some of it is related to the fact that Turkish lira has collapsed in value against the dollar, right? So people are looking for a way to preserve their net worth or wealth in general. And there is a lot of potential in the country in the sense that it could produce and export, and it has goods that is cheap when you convert it to, let's say, USD dollars, and you can really take advantage of these and generate wealth for yourself. So we obviously have the main project in Turkey, which is being built by SEN Group, the SCN Group, which is Lumia Towers, which is a residential tower, an actual residential tower, 2 twin towers in European side of Istanbul. That's still continuing. I mean, we continuously get updates on that, so that should be ready hopefully by the end of the year or Q1, the building itself, and then we want to tokenize that. So we actually have reserved 200 million out of the entire project to tokenize it and put it on Lumia, so that people can actually buy into properties within the Turkish borders without ever actually having to travel over, because we handle this all on chain. But aside from that, I mean, Turkey in general, obviously I have a Turkish background, so I'm trying to push Turkey in multiple angles, because I think I've seen what the UK is doing. I've now seen what the US is doing, and they're super bullish, especially with the whole Bitcoin reserve side as well. So it's not just a matter of Lumia, it's actually a matter of sort of, well, how do you get the government to see the other side of cryptocurrencies and bet on the future of finance? And one of my pushes, apart from the Lumia's project, is actually to get to the Turkish government to see Bitcoin as a true national reserve, so that they can start acquiring Bitcoin as a state. I'm continuously pushing that in the background through my contacts, through my connections with the Turkish government. But on the Lumia front, you will see more and more projects come out and more tokenization happen. The next thing that we have, I guess I shouldn't actually say that, but you'll see more. You will see more after the Lumia Towers is built, and that's still continuing. And we will still continue to push for every opportunity we can get out of each nation and sort of development.
Yeah, I could see a lot of people taking the same. I mean, we're already seeing it obviously within the U.S. El Salvador was really early on to this. I think they're up a few bill. El Salvador.
Yeah, I think they're up about $1.5 billion now on the unrealized.
$1.5 billion. Yeah, because dude, he started buying. The president there started buying.
I heard some stuff, but I didn't know that.
He started buying in the middle of the bear market, and he was just like, "All right, we're buying." And at first, I remember the media was kind of like, "Oh, yeah, well, like millennial president is like all in on crypto bro president." You know, they were kind of making fun of him a little bit. And it's like,
hey, who up now?
Who's up now? He's going to solve that economy, and it makes sense. Like, I remember reading this, and I from March 2020 until today, like I think it's like 60% of all fiat in circulation has been printed, right? Whereas obviously Bitcoin is a finite resource, only 21 million. The inflation numbers that we're getting every quarterly, I guess annually as well too, is like it's not necessarily, in my opinion. Again, my personal opinion, not fully accurate, right? So when you have something like that, it just makes sense from a global economic standpoint that like nations start basing their economy on Bitcoin reserves. Mm-hmm. It sounds crazy. Yeah. And if you were to say this, I guess when you were first entering crypto, we went through your origin story. If you were to go back and tell yourself this 8 years ago, you'd be like, you're crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it just shows how far the market has become, really. It's insane. And during this DC trip, actually, it made me realize that US does have a solid plan of what they want to do with the stable coins, because they're not pushing this for no reason. There is a reason behind this. I mean, I'm not going to go ahead and come out with my conspiracy theories, but I truly believe US is pushing the Stablecoin Act because they want more demand for the USD in general. And then that demand obviously flows back into the US T-bills, and then eventually it all goes back to the national debt. So the national debt, based off our 1 week in DC, is the biggest concern and the priority for both sides, right? It's an open wound, right? You're adding 2 trillion of debt every 6 months. That's just insane, and it's surpassing your military defense budget, the interest payments on this debt now. So it's unsustainable, and they have to find a way around it. And I think one of these ways is going to be cryptocurrency and Bitcoin as a national reserve. So that's why I think every nation should actually start seriously considering Bitcoin as a national reserve. I mean, we've been saying this for years, but now time has come, and it truly has come.
Dennis, I wanna share this with you, and then we'll go back to a few more questions in the chat. But I know a lot of my chat, a lot of you guys, a lot of the people in the chat from on my end, I've been talking about this. I've been shouting this off the rooftops, and you are literally confirming it. I've been shouting about this since July. It's a conspiracy. I mean, I'll call it. It's my stablecoin conspiracy theory. And basically, wait.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Basically, it's exactly what you said. I think the U.S. is going to look to eliminate or at least chip away at $37 trillion of the national debt through stablecoins. And I think the Genius Act was basically the starting point of that. A few months ago, I think like 2 months ago now, or a month and a half ago, I actually sat and I did a stream with a World Liberty Finance advisor, and he kind of sort of confirmed it too. He didn't necessarily say it, but he was like, this makes a lot of sense.
Real quick, Dennis, didn't we have a conversation about this in DC?
Yeah, we did. We had a lot of conversations about this.
Yeah. And then so basically, if you guys don't know, like if anybody in the chat isn't aware how stable coins work and how that ties into the Genius Act right now, is basically it's 1-to-1 pegged with US T-bills, with Treasury bills, right? So, and then with the Genius Act, different corporations and financial institutions can basically issue stable coins, but they have to 1-to-1 back them with T-bills. So when you see, Circle minted $1 billion in USDC, well, that's $1 billion in US Treasury bills that are also purchased on the back end. So if you have all of these different companies basically launching their own versions of stable coins, they're slowly chipping away at the US national debt while not necessarily putting that into fiat circulation. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. And I'm assuming you guys got some information about that in DC-ish, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, you could just tell by the conversations. We never sort of directly had these conversations with anyone out there, but it's just a vibe, you could sense it. You can see where the things are going towards, which is why I think the biggest bet you could take for the next 10 years, again, not financial advice, this is my personal outlook, is that you have to start accumulating sound money, and sound money comes in a few forms, right? So you know what to do, I guess, for the next 10 years.
Diego in the chat says we want RWA backed stable coins. Is that something in the cards for y'all, or it's
Diego?
Yeah. I mean, Diego is hinting at things, but yeah, we want, so stablecoin, generally speaking, it's all based on US Treasury T-bills, as we were talking about right now. But if we bring enough assets on chain, and these assets are sound, like let's call it land, real estate, commercial, residential, and they're bearing yield, so why not mint a stablecoin against that? I mean, it's a sound way of minting stablecoin. Well, more sound than Terra Luna, right? So.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty compelling argument, I would say. I did want to touch. Obviously, you are the technical head of Lumia, right? As far as the technology, I did want to touch a little bit on tech, not like go all the way in, because we do have a lot of Degens watching. So like a little bit more of a simplistic. I know Mark and I off camera were talking about pessimistic proofs and some of the different like performative aspects of Lumia. I didn't know if you had anything specific that you wanted to cover with that. I did have some articles pulled up as far as pessimistic proofs. First of all, what, like, if you were to explain this to me like I'm a 12-year-old, what does this mean?
So there's two flavors in ZK EVMs, zero knowledge EVMs. The first flavor, which is what we're currently on the mainnet, is called full execution proof. So this means we generate proof for every single thing that happens on the chain, and we generate a ZK proof using very big, heavy ZK prover machines, which are expensive to run. And because of the type of ZK proof that we generate, because of the CDK stack that we use, it can get very expensive and very, it becomes a bottleneck for the entire chain to become scalable. So what we're doing is we're switching out the full execution proof to pessimistic proof. So pessimistic proof is effectively not generating proof for every single transaction, but it's only generating proof when you want to exit the chain. So that way we can just go through and make sure each transaction conforms to the rules. So like no double spending, no rolling back, etc. And we include that in a block. And then when you do want to exit, we can take that state and prove that it's a correct state and you have not stolen anything, and therefore you can exit quickly. So that, in a nutshell, is the difference between FEP, full execution proof, and pessimistic proof. And pessimistic proof allows for better interoperability through using things like Polygon AgLayer, etc. Now, it's a two-step process. So the first step is we switch to pessimistic proof to stop generating proofs for everything. And then we actually go back a step and we will switch to have type 1 proofs. So type 1 proofs are the new generation of way of generating ZK proofs for blocks. We will effectively go back to maximum security of generating proofs for every single thing that's happening on chain. But rather than doing it with the old ZK circuits, we will do it with the new ZK circuit. Some of you may have read it for things like, real-time Ethereum block proving that took about 12 seconds from 6 cent. I think it happened like a month ago. So these are actually massive breakthroughs in ZK technology in general. It's not just for block proving. It's generally speaking for every sort of proving that you can think of. And we want to bring that technology. That technology is called type 1 proving, which is very dynamic, adaptable, and future-proof. We're going to bring that mechanic back into Lumia in a month or two, and then use the pessimistic proof for the exit routes only. So that way we have maximum security, but still infinite scalability effectively. And our end goal is to push beyond 50,000 TPS by Q2, which will make us the fastest ZK EVM and the only ZK EVM to actually achieve such TPS. We have a clear roadmap of things that we need to do. So we work with our partners. We actually contribute, I personally contribute code to ZK EVM Polygon CDK stack. Yeah, I don't think a 12-year-old can understand that, to be honest, but that's
you know who that is? You know
yeah, I know who Nick is. I know who Nicholas is.
I don't think a 12-year-old can understand.
Hey, that's as simple as you get.
Oh God.
But yeah,
no,
so it's effectively our roadmap to 50,000 plus TPS by Q2 and make block speed as fast as 250 milli. 250
because we had this question in the chat earlier, and again, just to make it a little bit more simplistic, like looking at the future of Lumia, obviously, like, I've looked into a lot of different, everyone's going for retail. Everyone's going for retail, right? If you look at even from Pump Fund to Abstract to all of these, everyone's trying to be like retail. They want people using their chain. They want volume. They want dApps. I guess from a non-technical standpoint, after this is achieved or achieving this, like, what does that lead to from a user experience standpoint? How do we get grandma on Lumia? Like, how does this help us get grandma on Lumia? Like, would this help, I guess, developers build different dApps that can do certain things? Like, I want to kind of like make it more simple for people to understand as far as like, why is this important? Because I think it is very important, right? But like from obviously as like the chief technology officer, I kind of want to know what is the full vision for the retail side as well. Like, how do we get people on Lumia?
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, the biggest thing that it resolves.
We're good. That's what we're doing. Grandma will understand Lumia right now. He froze for a second.
The way to make, I think, you guys can hear me?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're back. You're good.
All right. Yeah. So the way to make grandma understand is to hide blockchain, like just completely hide it. If she doesn't realize that she's using blockchain and she could do what she wants, which is maybe, let's say, transfer money, buy into this opportunity, buy into that. Like, who cares what chain it's on, what blockchain it's on, what gas you're using? That's the end goal. And this sort of technical advancement is going to get us there, because now we can create fast blocks, which means, very reactive UI UX that you don't have to wait for 10 seconds, 12 seconds. When you click something, you expect something to happen, especially given that we have high-speed internet today. We expect things to happen in real time. So these technology advancements allows us to give that UI UX feel to the user. And then anything beyond that it really shouldn't concern the user. I mean, when you open up your computer, do you think about how the CPU runs these circuits, or do you think about how GPU runs these cycles? You don't. You just all you care about is, can I go on X? Can I go on YouTube? That's it. That's basically the end goal, and that's where we want to get to. And then once you get to that, but before you get to that, you really have to onboard institutions and actual entities beyond retail, because retail, if you onboard retail now, even with the best UI UX, what are they going to do? Like what will they do?
Fair point.
If you don't know how to watch charts, read charts, resistance, support, head and shoulders, whatever you call it, whatever pattern you're looking at, or you're not looking at these crypto Twitter echo chamber, then you really don't know what you're looking at. Like, you're just looking at a blank screen and saying, well, what is this? It's all these numbers and all these things. But if you have opportunities where, you say to, where you onboard institutions, they deploy applications, they deploy yield-bearing products, they deploy savings account, on-chain neobank, etc., etc. And then you have all these offerings to offer to the user with a good UI UX that's responsive, then you're basically there. I mean, you're 50% of the way you're there, because people have actually usage for the blockchain. Right now, I'm building this tech. I'm part of the whole development cycle, but I do not genuinely see any good use cases outside the crypto Twitter echo chamber. It's all the same things that people talk about, vanity metrics, about super fast TPS, this, but what does it mean to the common person? Right now, it doesn't mean much.
Right. Agreed. And that's why I think RWA just in general as like an overall niche and segment makes the most sense right now.
Exactly. I mean, and it also answers one of the burning questions that crypto has always had. What is the intrinsic value of a token or of a project or cryptocurrency? Now you can say, well, this token actually is a reflection of a real world asset, let's say land or property, etc. So I think real world assets is the path to maturity in general.
Awesome. Well, we are probably going to start wrapping up here. As promised, Mark's been making notes. He's going to select somebody from the chat for the $100 Lumia giveaway.
Look, I don't even think
this is your last chance. If you haven't been in the chat, this is your last chance.
Spam the chat right now. Spam the chat right now.
There was a question about the UAE from someone.
Somebody said UAE?
Yeah, just to touch up very quickly on that. Okay. Yeah, so UAE is.
You got time. We got time.
You got time, bro.
This is the last one. This will be the last one. But UAE is the last. So UAE is one of our main hubs in general across the world. One of our co-founders have moved there. I am going to move to Dubai soon as well, because of the amount of trips that I keep making between London and Dubai. It's just getting out of hand. So it's best for me to move there. So we are going for different regulations, different jurisdictions, different licenses, different tokenized assets. I don't want to say too much because you're going to hear of UAE and what we've been doing there, but UAE is one of our main hubs.
A little bit of a cliffhanger. Got people wondering now what the heck is coming up next. Yeah, it is good to know UAE from a crypto regulation standpoint was at least 5 years ahead of the entire world.
Yeah,
5 to 6 years ahead of everybody. A lot of the most recent major developments in UAE have come from being, an early mover onto crypto adoption. They literally have bikes there now, like all like the e-bikes and stuff that are tokenized. So you can actually like invest into an e-bike that someone's gonna pay money to ride around. It's like crazy. It's actually insane.
And they're still leading innovation in crypto. Like to this day, they are way ahead of the rest.
Chat wants to know if you have anything you can leak right now. Cal isn't here, so maybe he can leak some stuff. I don't know. Chat wants to know.
So there's going to be a change in the nodes that we did a node sale for, so that will be coming. That's the first leak, I guess. I honestly cannot say much more.
There's probably so many people recording this.
Yeah, there's just too many legal things that I have to be careful with. So it's best I just keep my mouth shut for a week or two.
Dope. All right. So I did want to, if you've been hanging out with us this whole time, thanks. Mark's going to pick a giveaway winner from the chat. But before he does that, I do want to remind you guys, if you missed any of this chat, go back to the very beginning. It is pre-recorded. There will be some clips coming out as well. But we heard about Cal's story, the CEO of Lumia, his origin story, his Batman story into crypto. We heard about Dennis's origin story as well, and where those two worlds collided and what led to Lumia today. And also just about DC. We learned about how there's a lot as far as crypto legislation
being part
and
of the conversation of how policy and stuff is going to go here in the US.
Right. Being on the bleeding edge of politics, bleeding into crypto, and crypto bleeding into politics.
And we didn't really touch on it too much, but just getting support from some people like David McIntosh, who's very powerful in Capitol Hill, and Tim Ryan as well. So just getting just verbal support and future meetings. But yeah, just having that was also a huge thing that came out of DC as well. We didn't really touch on it, but that was one of the big things as well.
And we learned about the Turkey project, right? We learned about a little bit of the Lumia towers. Mark announced his candidacy for president, so that was another big thing that happened today. And if you guys have been joining us, you want to stay up to date on Lumia, make sure you give the page a follow, join the Discord, buy and stake some Lumia as well too, and make sure you have notifications on for the next stream. So hey, you want to announce the giveaway, guy?
Yeah. So I've been paying attention this whole time. I took some screenshots, but I keep seeing one person pop up every single time. And it is definitely by unanimous decision, ransom.base.e. Can you send me that? Let me get
ransom.
Let me get that wallet address in the Lumia on the Lumia page. DM me.
DM the main Lumia page at Build on Lumia if you're not following already.
But make sure to join the Discord as well.
Yes, sir. Congratulations. We'll see you guys probably next week. And yeah, if what you're about to bowing out. You're just bowing out. Okay, all right. Dennis, any final words on your part to leave with the chat, leave with everybody that's been watching?
So there is one thing that I wanted to address. I saw earlier. I lost the question now because it keeps scrolling. It was about dApps and new partnerships. There will be more dApps. You have to build the foundation and build the products, then the dApps come, just like Hyperliquid did, right? So Hyperliquid built its perps, and then everyone started coming to it. So once you build it, people will come.
You heard it from the man himself. All right, guys, we'll see you. Peace out, and thanks for tuning in. Ciao.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
And